Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to our webinar. It is just amazing to have so many of you here today. We're going to talk to you a bit about business connectivity, why it's so important to have it on your agenda right now, despite all the other things you're trying to do as a business. And in particular, I'm really pleased to be joined by a few guests, including my colleague Chris here, and we've got a few other people as well who are going to join in with a couple of video clips as well. So in terms of what we're going to cover, we're going to keep it really simple. We're going to talk to you about why right now you need to review what you have for your business connectivity, right? There is a cost of working crisis going on. 8 out of 10 businesses have told us that it's really difficult to run your business because of the cost to do so. So you might be thinking, I'm not going to buy new connectivity right now. What we're saying to you is review what you've got. You should really look at that. So why you need to look at your connectivity. We're going to talk to you about whether a lease line is the right thing for you. You might be thinking, well, what is a lease line and do I need one? And I've got fibre and surely that's enough. So we'll try and demystify that a little bit for you. And then lastly, we're going to talk to you about why TalkTalk Business. You're probably here because you've either heard of us or you've never heard of us, right? Whichever camp you're in, we're going to bring to life a little bit more about why you should consider TalkTalk Business as really your connectivity partner. And so, just moving on, a little bit about me. So I'm John Knoll. So I run small business here at TalkTalk Business. I've been with the company for over 10 years and I've been in the industry for quite a while. I'm delighted to be joined today by Chris.
Hi, my name's Chris Bodie. I head up small to medium enterprise for TalkTalk Business. Been in the industry for a very long time, but been with TalkTalk for 3 years.
Thanks, Chris. So during the next 20 minutes, we're going to just talk to you about some of the things we've just covered. We've got some great content to share as well. If you've got any questions, please place them on the chat. We'll come back to you directly. And of course, if you want to talk to us directly after today, then obviously reach out and one of the team will be delighted to take your call. So let me talk a little bit about TalkTalk Business. TalkTalk Business is the dedicated business-to-business division within the TalkTalk Group. We serve hundreds of thousands of customers with business connectivity from a dedicated team based here in the UK. We do a range of connectivity services, so wherever you do need fibre broadband for your very small premise or your home-based business, we do lease lines for growing businesses of any size. And actually, what we stand for is about service and quality of service, because we do think that businesses deserve better. We truly do. The way we test and measure ourselves are things like our Trustpilot scores or our customer satisfaction metrics. If you look us up on Trustpilot, you'll see we're 4.6 on Trustpilot. We are very proud of that, but that signifies and stands for everything we're about. We're easy to do business with. We're here to support you. It's a personal service, and we're about long-term relationships. So right, let's get into it. So our job today is quite simple. We're going to help you bridge that knowledge gap about connectivity, and in particular lease lines, and what's the right technology that you need for your business in today's climate. So what exactly is a lease line then, Chris?
It's the ultimate business connectivity.
So for any business of any size?
Absolutely.
So should we ever think about who exactly lease lines are for, right? So we've got thousands of customers on lease lines. In reality, the TalkTalk network provides 1 in 4 of all lease lines in the UK. Put it another way, 25% of the lease lines in this country are provided by the TalkTalk network. And to put it into context, that we also have, beyond that, 500,000 business customers. So 10% of all businesses in the UK rely on the TalkTalk network for their connectivity today. It's enormous. And the sorts of businesses I'm talking about here are people like Five Guys or Shell. There's other companies in leisure like Crown Golf, and then there's people like Pixel Bar, and we'll hear a bit about Pixel Bar a bit later on. So you can kind of see that it's not like a lease line's just for people who've got an office or just got a factory. You can have a retail establishment with a lease line. And in reality, if you've got 5 people in a building, depending on the kind of things you're doing, you might need a lease line. It's true to say that a fibre broadband service might be enough, but in many cases, a lease line is now the affordable and sensible choice. Because at the end of the day, despite the fact we are in a cost of working crisis and we're worried about our bills, you can't afford to scrimp on your connectivity. And we'll talk a bit more about this later on, but it's really important to have the right connectivity, just the same as it's about having the right tooling and other things as part of how you run your business. So obviously there's some of the companies that use lease lines and stuff like this, but in terms of your customers, Chris, what are they using lease lines for? What kind of services are they using that connectivity for?
Yeah, so there's a variety of different things, John. So first of all, contactless payments. Every industry is now using these due to the pandemic. And we also have voice, so everyone's putting the voice over the internet now. So as we know, in 2025, copper exchanges are going and everything's going to go into fibre. So it's imperative as a business you have all your devices connected on a fibre connection.
So Chris, I guess that's a bit like in your home, right? So in your home, you've got that single connection, which is TV, your phone line, your CCTV if you've got it, CCTV, smart devices like smart lighting, your Ring doorbell, your internet connection to keep the kids and everyone else happy for homework and working from home. It's just the same, but it's for businesses. So it's just up a gear in that regard. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. So in terms of the sort of places that we put in lease lines recently, Chris, so the schools, retail shops, no matter how small, petrol stations,
Yeah.
talk that, restaurants,
Yeah.
high street shops,
Yeah.
garages,
Yeah.
farms.
Yeah. And actually, John, we put them into wind farms.
That's true, I forgot about that one. That's really good. So the reality is, if you go back 10 years ago, lease lines were just going into those big offices, right? They were expensive. But right now, everybody's got them. Caravan parks, camping sites, you name it. If you want robust connectivity, actually a lease line is for you, and they're a lot more affordable than they used to be. So, after many years of businesses being restricted by the kind of connectivity they could afford, the gloves are off, the glass ceiling's removed, lease lines are available for everyone, right?
Absolutely. And we now have people asking to put them in their homes.
We do indeed. Good, so just moving on really. So one of the industries that previously did not have lease lines because they just weren't affordable and they weren't suitable is some of the bars and hospitality. So right here in Manchester, there's a bar called the Pixel Bar. It's a gaming bar. They need lots of fast connectivity. And they came to us and said, can you get us a lease line solution that will help us be super successful? And I'm delighted that Craig, who's the director at Pixel Bar, has done a little video for us all about it.
I'm Craig Ryan, I'm one of the owners of Pixel Bar. So we are a bar that's dedicated to video gaming and esports. We've got a venue in Leeds and a venue in Manchester, which we're in today. So we started in 2019 as a venue and owners who were just looking for somewhere where people could have a game, have some drinks, just have a good time and really have the social experience of gaming, which we found wasn't really available in Leeds and Manchester at the time. Since we've opened, we've built a really strong following of customers and a really strong brand following of what we've got, and we're excited to keep building on that. Choosing a lease line for us wasn't really any other option. As a bar dedicated to gaming, we have to give our customers the best possible experience when they come to us, and it has to be on a level above what they have already at home. So when we were opening up, we were looking around for lease lines that guaranteed strong connectivity, permanent uptime, and just that peace of mind that once we're up and running, that the internet connection is an afterthought for us and for our customers. Dedicated lease line is everything to us at Pixel Bar. Our customers need to have the best possible experience, and we give them that with the TalkTalk product that we offer them. They come to us, they don't really think about the internet connection, which is always a good thing. If you go home and you don't have any connection problems, then you've had a good time, you've had a good game experience, and that's the most important thing for us. Working with TalkTalk business as a customer has been really easy. It's one of those where there's not too much to say because we just don't really have the problems, but even still, they check in on us, the account managers, they are easy to get a hold of, but the main thing you want from an internet provider is to not be having to chase them around, and when the service has been strong and stable since we opened, that's all you can really ask for.
So the cost of working crisis, we touched on it before. We commissioned a piece of research earlier in the summer and found that 8 out of 10 SMEs said they were actually going through a cost of working crisis. We all hear about the cost of living crisis, and we all see what's happening with labour costs and cost of supply. I think it's really important to think about your connectivity costs in the mix here. In reality, over the last 10 to 20 years, the cost of connectivity have actually gone down consistently in lots of areas. So there's a good chance that you're currently paying more than you would if you went for a new contract. So look at your bills, check your bills, talk to your current provider, whoever it might be. Equally, come and talk to a different provider, talk to us, talk to anyone else in the market. But make sure you're getting the absolute best value, because if you're paying an extra £200 more than you should, that's a lot of money today, and that's a lot of money you could spend on something else. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you get your connectivity and your contracts in the right place. It's really, really vitally important. I guess the other side of this, of course, is that if you're not spending correctly or you're underinvesting, then that can bring real problems for you. So I mean, Chris, I know you get lots of customers who talk about this and they talk about having picked the wrong connectivity in the past, or the reasons they're coming to talk to us about a lease line is they now want to get it right. So what's the true cost of getting it wrong?
Well, it depends on what business you've got. So you could be a cafe or a restaurant. Your card machines go down. That means you can't take any payments from your customer. How much is that going to impact your business? Or you could be like Craig, and you could be in the gaming industry, and you have people who want to come to your business to stream and have fun and spend money. And if you've not got that quality of connection, they'll go to the place next door.
So lots of businesses that even we talk to have got, I mean, they may have 10 employees or something, and they're spending £30 a month for like a fibre broadband connection, and then wondering why they're getting downtime. That's really scrimping at it. I mean, I think the other example is if you take a lease line, it might cost you, £5 or up to £10 a day, depends on the speed you're at. That's nothing in the scheme of making sure you've got perfect productivity and also making sure that your customers are there and then. Because, like you said before, chip and pin, that customer can't pay, they're going to walk away, aren't they?
Absolutely, John.
So, generally my advice is check your bill, look and see what you're paying today. Make sure you look at comparisons, talk to other providers. Naturally, we'd be very happy to help you on this as well. And then make sure you've got your connectivity right sized and right priced to just kind of get them through the economic situation we're in right now. So we've talked about why you might need a lease line. We talked about who might use it. So let's just unpack a little bit more about what a lease line is. So we know already, Chris, that a lease line is not fibre broadband. So fibre broadband is a much lower speed, standard product. Great for some uses, but not all. Mm-hmm. It's not full fibre, because full fibre, whilst we love it, is a great product. It's gradually right for the UK. It's different, isn't it, a lease line? How exactly is that the case?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you look at the products we've just spoken about, John, those products are here. So these are all different products and they're all sharing each other's bandwidth. With a lease line, it's our product here, which is this super fast yellow line. So it's uncontended, so there's only you who's using that product. Also, your upload speed will be the same as your download speed as well, John.
So keeping it dead simple, Chris, right? That's where we like it, isn't it? So it's fast connection straight into your business or your home or your wind farm, as we said before, and it's all for you, and it's truly affordable these days. So that's really useful. So I think the other thing that it's important to understand, and if you don't know much about TalkTalk Business, we wanted to help you understand a bit more about how we do this and what we're all about in terms of service. So, I mean, Chris, there's some things your team will talk about a lot, I know, but kind of why us? Why TalkTalk Business? Yeah,
so if you come with TalkTalk for your lease line, you're going to get a UK-based customer service team who will look after all your queries. Also, you'll be assigned an account manager from one of my account management teams, and they'll actually look after you, support and help you grow as a business. So here at TalkTalk, we actually install your lease line 7 days faster than any of our competitors to get your business up and running.
That's brilliant, Chris. So UK teams, right? Fast installs, 4-hour SLA. Speeds, we do up to 10 gig, that's enormous, right? And then uptime, 99.95%, that's, which is, I know we're very proud of that number. So just a bit about uptime. I had the very great pleasure of getting some time with Paul Emmett the other day. Paul is our Service Operations Director. He looks after the network and the core systems and all the things that power 25% of those lease lines across the UK. So today I'm delighted to be joined by Paul Emmett. Paul is our Service Operations Director here at TalkTalk. We're in the Operations Centre, the hub that runs everything around the TalkTalk network. And Paul's going to spend a little bit of time explaining a bit more about what his team do and how we keep this amazing network running. Paul.
Yeah, so the guys here, John, 24 hours a day, they're monitoring our network service that provides service to all 4 million customers on the TalkTalk network. That's right through from our consumers, right through to our small, medium enterprise businesses on the TalkTalk network, from copper-based services right up to lease lines. So these guys here will spot the issue, they'll fix the issue, and they'll manage the issue and actually tell you about the problem when it occurs.
So Paul, the TalkTalk network supports 25% of all lease lines across the UK, right? It's a massive undertaking, right? So 1 in 4 lease lines are provided by our network. How do we go about ensuring the reliability of all those services for our customers?
So 4 million customers on a network, it dictates the scale of the network. It's big. It's across 3,000 exchanges around the UK. We have monitoring of all those 3,000 exchanges. We have our own field team that are available to support 24 hours a day. We have proactive monitoring and test of that service. So if should something go wrong, then these guys in here will know straight away.
So Paul, that's really interesting. I guess to keep all of those networks up and running, we must do a lot of monitoring of all the network and the assets and the devices. How much monitoring do we do on a daily basis?
Yeah, so with lease line, obviously, what's critical is quality of service. Across all of our 3,000 exchanges, we'll do 6 million proactive tests a day. So we take all that data, we crunch that data, and we look instantly where the performance of that network isn't to the level that we would expect. And again, when it doesn't perform, these guys will know about it and will respond and react.
So 6 million tests.
6 million
every single
tests
day.
every single day, right now. That's happening right now.
Wow, that's astonishing. That's really brilliant. So over the last few years, we've seen kind of like exponential growth in the amount of bandwidth people are using and consuming on networks, whether they're a small business or a SME business or a large business. Do we think this is going to set to continue, and if so, why?
I think it's only going one way. I think certainly the last 2 years, with the changes to the way that businesses in particular have started to move online, that has shifted demand through our network. So certainly through COVID, we saw that increase significantly. We are changing our network constantly, so we are looking for ways to simplify that network and therefore have that availability on demand as businesses start to increase their demand through their lease line service.
So that's clearly a massive amount of growth. How do our teams get ready for this? How do we even kind of plan ahead and make sure that we don't run out of capacity on the core network?
We've got a really smart team that predicts all of this. We are within 1% of accuracy within 2 years of where we think the network will be. So that's pretty smart on some really clever modelling that these guys do. But again, it's constant change and evolution of technology, which means we can keep up with bandwidth before even the customer knows that they need it.
That's brilliant and really super reassured, right? So cool. So listen, thank you, Paul. So I think that we've heard today, right? So 4 million customers, 25% of all lease lines in the market are managed by Paul and his great team and all this technology behind us. 6 million monitors that we do every single day. Wow, that's a hell of a lot. So brilliant. So well, listen, Paul, we know you're a real busy guy, so thank you ever so much for taking the time today. And once again, thank you for all the great work that you and your team do in keeping the network up and running. So it was great to talk to Paul Emmett there. So I think in summary, some of the things we talked about today is that right now you cannot afford not to be looking at your connectivity costs, right? Connectivity in terms of lease lines is becoming even more affordable than ever before. So really, please do go check your bills. Switching is dead easy. It might feel like it's complicated and it's hard. It's not. It's dead easy. Kind of Chris or any of the team will help take you through that. So please think about that right now. From a service point of view, listen, we're Trustpilot 4.6, as I've already said. Read it for yourself. We will give you the kind of service that you really need. So if you'd like to find out more, then scan the QR code on the screen in front of you. Give Chris's team a call, the number's there on the screen, or even if you like, drop me an email. My email's right in front of you. And listen, me or any of the team would be very happy to help you with any questions you might have. Thank you once again for your time, and hopefully see some of you soon.